Tonight, we're going to be doing BMX action. This is going to be March 1987. This one's going to be pretty good. I've already kind of thumbed through this one to kind of get an idea of what's in here. I don't remember actually seeing this one. That's the funny thing. Like every once in a while, like I told you guys in a previous video, I'll run across one that I simply just don't remember. This was another one of these golden nuggets that my cousin James gave me, so I'm anxious to get into that one. What was going on for me March 1987? Well, I was making $3.35 an hour over at Round Table Pizza in Hayward, California. Went to James Logan High School junior year. Heavily into BMX. So I'm excited to do this one. Let's get in, guys, and I will see you in there. So first of all, I just want to comment on this cover because a couple things I love about it is the colors on the Birmingham Schwinn rider here. I'm going to figure out who this is in about 2 seconds, but I love the red, white, and blue colors against the Dino pants. This looks like it's going to be an Echo helmet, if I'm right. Yeah, it's definitely an Echo helmet with the killer visor riser on there. I just love that look. It looks like his Van's ripped on this side. And this one looks brand new, so it's kind of suspect. Maybe he ripped it that day. We got some GPV things here, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We got the Nora Cup results for 1987. And GT swept it, man. I mean, they got the bike, they got the team, and they got the rider. I don't think I had seen that where it's just they just total sweep. We got a freestyle made easy from RL. And let's see who's on the cover, by the way. Let's see, cover inset on the cover. Here we go. For the first time this year ever, the BMX version of a no-footed can-can done courtesy of Tim Fuzzy Hall. Oh, I should have noticed that was Tim Fuzzy Hall. So him and Mad Dog kind of like, they kind of solidified we're pretty decent racers, but we're great jumpers, and they got a lot of coverage for just being super rad guys. I mean, I really appreciate the kind of flavor they brought to the sport. You know, it's really cool. All right, let's get into it. Okay, oh, this is a cool ad. So this is the, in the last magazine I did, I think it was a 1988 magazine. So we were looking at the second generation of the Haro RS1 Group 1. This is the same bike that I rode during this, you know, right around this time I had this bike too. Of course, I had the blue and black one, which is one of the coolest bikes I've ever got. My mom got me that one, and I really loved it. Let's see what's going on inside the magazine. We got Deer Gork Dirt, the Nora Cup results, freestyle how-tos. We're testing the Redline 600 CXL. I believe that's like a $250 bike, so that'll be interesting. GPV Grand Nationals, and then we're going to be doing a BMX race at the Echo Fall Nationals in Lake Elsinore, so Southern California. They're going to use the small mini ramp, and then we got hot prods and outtakes. This magazine, it's really strange because as I'm turning the pages, you can feel its age. It's weird. Some of the magazines I noticed, like I've done magazines that are as old as 81, and the pages, they still feel like normal. This one, you can absolutely feel its age. You can see that the discoloring, especially in the spine of the magazine, hear it crinkling. So yeah, this is definitely showing its age, but it's from 1987. We got a competition 3 tire. Well, no, not competition 3. It's a Taigo tire ad, and these look like pool tires, like yeah, comp pools. And this is basically what a race tire is today. I think I've mentioned that before, except we don't have this. I haven't seen any bikes where it has this smooth strip in the middle. I know that would reduce a lot of the rolling resistance on these. You know, I was thinking about the modern BMX tire recently, and I realized the smoother the tracks are, the less that we need the knobbies. But if you're on a track that's primarily dirt, like let's say you're at the ABA Grands, just for an example, or I should call it USA BMX Grands, the track's all dirt, and sometimes I kind of wonder why aren't they using a knobby, because I know when I've raced, prior to our track getting a paved turn, because now the berms, some of the berms, are they all paved? I think they're all paved, but Prior to that, you can break loose pretty easy, especially if the dirt's settling on top of the berm. So, you know, running a knobby tire would alleviate that problem, but we're just not really rolling that way anymore. No pun intended. We got the Vans ad are here, all these cool t-shirts from 1987, and then we got Dear Gork. I read one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and read this one here. This is the Gnarly Drop Off. It was written by Chris Ace Swindle. So Chris Swindle from Baytown, Texas. He said, "Hey dude, this is serious. I was thinking about Wizard Publications and how you guys are located in Southern California. Well, are you on the good or the bad side of the infamous crack? California is one of the raddest places on earth, but what happens when the inevitable quake comes and California bites the surf? How will all the readers live without BMX action if you guys fall into the ocean? We don't want to resort to other magazines. Why don't you guys move to Texas where it's nice and safe?" You know, it's so weird to hear people say that, because I've had conversations. I make a living on the phone, and a lot of times people say, "Where are you from?" And I tell them, "Well, I'm in California." And, you know, their impressions of California is, you know, there's going to be an earthquake, you know, how horrible is that? And my response is always like, listen, we have earthquakes every once in a while, and, you know, every once in a while there's a pretty good size one. You know, I lived through the 1989 one. That one was probably the most epic one I could remember. But other than that, you get one every once in a while, and most of the time you don't feel them. And let's face it, we do not have earthquake seasons. You guys have tornado seasons and all kinds of crap, which we don't have. So I'll just take the earthquakes. Anyway, let's see what Gork said about that. He said, "No need to worry, Ace. We've got it all planned out. As soon as the San Andreas Fault starts shaking, we'll all immediately call our elite list of top BMXers, photograph each guy bunny hopping on the other side of California before it's too late. I think this is going to make a real cool article, and I'm anxiously awaiting to see it happen. See? Question mark, ... If we're in Texas, we'd miss out on all the excitement." Gork. That's pretty funny. So, you know, it's weird because I remember, just getting off topic for a second, guys, 1989, that was the biggest earthquake that I remember, and it was 2 years after this happened. And it was really strange because I was working my shift at Roundtable. You know, I was in junior college, and I was doing my night shift, and I usually started at 5 o'clock, and then I would work until close, which was usually about 11:30, 12 o'clock. But anyway, I just got to work, guys. I mean, I just got to work, and I was starting my shift, and it just barely rounded 5. It was probably 5 or 6 minutes after 5, and the earthquake hit. It was strange because at the time, you know, me living in the Bay Area, one of the biggest epic thing that was happening at the time was the Oakland A's were playing the San Francisco Giants in the World Series. And that was a huge deal. You know, we were going to have what was called the Bay Area series, or the Bay Bridge series. I can't remember what they called it. But anyway, when the earthquake hit, the kitchen started shaking. I mean, and I was standing in front of what we call the make table, where you make all the pizzas. And I had my hands down like this, and I'm, you know, making a pizza or whatnot. And the table started rolling back and forth, and I had to push it literally up against the wall. I was the only one in the kitchen. And my buddy Bob walked in. Bob was kind of like your typical stoner, you know, long hair, rocker looking dude. And I go, "Bob," and he looked at me. He goes, "What's up?" And I go, "We're having an earthquake." And he goes, "Whose birthday is it?" I was like, "Oh my God, dude!" And then he realized it because the store was like literally moving like this, and it was the biggest earthquake I actually had ever felt. And the funny thing is as soon as the earthquake ended, I called my house, and my dad answered. My mom hadn't been home from work yet. And I go, "Hey, Dad, is everything okay over there?" You know, and he goes, yeah, we're okay. And I go, you know, the first thing I said is, I go, "Dad, did my trophies fall?" Because I had all my BMX trophies were all on this shelf in my room. There was like 3 shelves worth of trophies. And he said, "Only one fell." And I don't know how that happened, because that earthquake was really, really bad, you know, and at the time, I was the owner of the store calls me and says, "Hey, you know what, Danny, close the store and give it a minute, because you want to make sure you don't smell any gas or anything like that." So, you know, I closed the store. I was about 19 years old, and we had, I think, 10 customers the entire night. Like, nobody was coming in. We had almost no deliveries. We reopened the store, obviously. That was just a crazy night. Anyway, I got way off topic. I think after we just watched the news all night in the restaurant. Then I went home and continued to watch the news. The Bay Bridge had collapsed. The Cypress Freeway had collapsed. Some people got seriously hurt and killed. So it was just it wasn't a pleasant memory, but you know, I'm glad I didn't get hurt. Let's keep moving. All right. So we got GT ad here, and it looks like we would like to introduce the all-new GT Freestyle frame, but Eddie won't let us see it. He's covering it all up. You know, it's really strange. I was looking at this photo. Look at the size of the rear triangle of this Freestyle bike. I mean, that's pretty huge. You know, if you think about it, I mean, look at that. Where Eddie's thigh is and where his elbow is, that's massive. You know, this bike must have weighed a ton, and I don't know how effective it would have been for freestyle, but again, I wouldn't know. I wasn't a freestyler. Let's keep going. We got Action BMX Cycle here and the Diacomp ad, which we've seen recently. This is R.L. Osborne. And again, the red line, they went ahead and they airbrushed off all the red line stickers and so forth on it, as he had moved on to another sponsor at the time. That's a really cool ad, though. Oh, check this out. So I was reading about this here recently, and they're talking about Bob Harrow actually selling Harrow off, and I saw an interview with Bob Harrow, and I actually added some clips when he was talking about him being in the E.T. movie, but he was also talking about the sale of his company. The company had just gotten so big that it reached his limit of what he could do with it, and he ended up selling it off. And he said years later, you know, he went to like a Interbike show or something, and all the Harrow stuff was out, and you know, they welcomed him in and so forth. But he said it was just really strange seeing his name on all the equipment and things that are out. I don't know if he ever regretted that. I know he must have made a ton of money off of it, but that's pretty cool. I read about this one. This is the Ferrari that they utilized in the Mongoose ad, and they let Travis Chiprez and Eric Group take it on the road a little bit while they were shooting the ad, and they got pulled over doing like 120, 25 in it. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh wow, look at this shot. This is John Cruz right here. This is really, really cool shot of him right here. And it looked like he was switching sponsors at the time. He was going to Prime Racing. That is a really, really cool shot of John. Yeah, high C-Post gang. You gotta love that. All right, what do we got over here? Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. We warned you first. The Robinson name will be major force to reckon with in '87, joining Greg Hill on the team. So far is Shan Hatfield, formerly from Factory GT. Todd Mitchell's going to be on there. He was formerly on Cyclecraft, and of course Danny Nelson. So that's a pretty good lineup right there. Her riders going on to Robinson. Okay, let's keep on keeping on here. Oh, we got the big Diamondback ad here. You gotta love this Dalmatian here. Then Mike Dominguez pretty much owned this ad. I mean, he's over here, here, and here. This is just a great ad. It's really strange, guys. Check this out. This Freestyle bike actually still has the chain guard on it. That is really a rare occurrence. You just don't see that on BMX bikes in magazines. I think, honestly, that's probably the first time I've seen a chain guard still on the bike. I know that they sold them like that in some cases, you know, but you would just take it off immediately when you got home, and it's really weird. Okay, we got skateboard, another skateboard ad with Vans Warehouse, California Hot, and then we have the Laser Freestyle bike ad right here. It's pretty typical for the 80s. You know, look at that. It looks like it's glowing. That's really cool. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, here we go. So this is the beginning of the Nora Cup Awards, and I was checking this out. And this is Tommy Bracken's 1987. He got the Nora Cup, and he actually won the World Championship that year, and he won the gravity-powered vehicle, the GPV Finals. He won that as well. So 87 was like a really good year for Tommy. And then let's go to the next page, and then here you go. GT also won the number one bike for the Nora Cup. That's awesome. And then it's not over yet, because as we turn the page again, they got #1 team as well. So a great year for GT in 1987. They were a powerhouse, so that's really, really cool. All right, let's turn the page because I wanted to look at the overall results, and here they are. Okay, so we've looked at these before in previous magazines, but as of through 1987, Tommy Bracken's picked up 17.91% of the votes. Mike Miranda had 14.89. So it was less than 3% difference between the two, and Pete Lonkarovich picked up third at 14.5% of the votes. Then it was Greg Hill. Now Greg has several of these, and it's 1987, and he was still fourth. So that's pretty good. Sean Texas was high on there. He was in the top 5. Harry Larry, Kevin Hall, Eddie King, Travis Tripriz, Ronnie Anderson, Todd Slavic, Stu Thompson, Mike King, Eric Roop, Billy Griggs, Gary Ellis, and Toby Henderson tied for 16th. And Charles Townsend, Richie Anderson, and Mike Polson. Strange that Richie is so far down the list for the Nora Cup because he was super, super popular. You know, you would think he would be much higher on the list, but that's pretty cool. So for the number one bike, GT won it. They got 25% of the votes, with Hutch getting second. Now, prior to this happening, Hutch had won like 3 of these in a row. So it was really a big deal for GT to kind of dethrone them. Haro picked up third. Redline, Diamondback, Mongoose, CW, Elf, Free Agent, Skyway, Cyclecraft, Schwinn, SE, Titan, Profile, JMC, Raleigh, Torker tied with GHP, and then finally Patterson. Again, surprising to me, because you got Richie Anderson here and sitting number 19 with Patterson Bike sitting number 20. It's kind of surprising to me because, I mean, that's an epic rider and a very epic bike. You know, I don't know. Maybe it was, Patterson was really kind of a NorCal thing. Maybe that's why they weren't as big as, you know, GT and Hutch. And in 87, I don't really think Patterson was a major factor anymore. At least I know Brian was still out there. Anyway, let's move on. We got the number one team, so GT won that one, and so they got 26% of the votes with Diamondback, Hutch, Haro, Redline, Mongoose, CW, Free Agent, Eagle Snacks, Schwinn for 9th, Cyclecraft, Kegel's Bikes, Elf, 09, Titan, Jones, Track Locals. Wow, I wonder what that is. Was that a bike shop team? Wow. That's pretty cool. Kuwahara, Huffy, Pedal Power, Robinson, and Ralph's all tied for 19. That's crazy. We got Frankfurt BMX here on the ad, and then let's go to the Mousetrap. Is this RL? Let's see. Radical renderings by L. Sid. Photographic images by Wendy. Oh, Wendy. I love Wendy. Written expressions by Steve. Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely RL running on the new General. That was his new sponsor. I wonder how much he got for riding for General. I bet you it was a ton. Great shots, though. I love these sequence shots. You know, it's weird. We have to have these sequences because there's no, you know, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have the internet. You know, there was no social media. So, you know, you can't just throw yourself on social media and everybody gets to see it. It was just, oops, sorry, guys, I bumped the camera. It was just the magazines. I mean, that's all there was. It's all we knew, and it's all we needed, you know, at the time. All right, let's keep going. More of RL's tricks here. Really, really cool. And then we have the actual, oh, this is awesome. I love when these are still in here. They're giving away this cycling hat when you signed up for a year subscription. That's really cool. That's really cool. All right, let's go. First class BMX. You know what? Let me take a look at this really quick. I just want to see. We got the GT Pro frame and fork was $129 and looks like 95 cents. And the GT Pro Performer Freestyle was $117. The Hutch Hollywood was $138.95. Skyway TA is $128.95. It's about what I paid for mine. And you know what's really strange is if you go on Planet BMX right now and you get the Skyway TA, it's $699. So that's a big markup. But, you know, obviously now you're talking about a retro bicycle or a repop. And I think I paid like $500 for mine, and that was with tough wheels though. I got the frame, fork, and tough wheels for $500. Always look for promotional codes when you're buying stuff online because you can find them for free and it'll save you a lot of money. And we've seen this ad in the last magazine, and this is the actual Ferrari that they got busted driving in. That's really cool. I didn't know that actually happened. And this bike is so clean looking, man. I love it. This Black Mongoose California edition. Look at that. Is that clean or what? I love the wheels, man. That is so cool. Okay, let's see. We got California Cheapskates. And then here we go. All right. This is the test for the Redline 600 CXL. And that's Chris Mad Dog Moeller in that shot. That's a really, really good shot. Let me see if I can get in there better for you guys. That's really cool. And, you know, I listened to Chris recently as well. He was on the BMX YouTube channel, which I've recently discovered, and I've been watching interviews, and they are long interviews, man. It's good for me because I'm sitting in my office working for, 8 hours. So if an interview's 3 hours, it's fine because I just let it play while I'm working. But it was really cool. He said a lot of interesting things, and he was talking a little bit about when they were testing these bikes, and the bikes were not the highest quality, and they were basically commissioned to break these things, to just destroy them, and that's what they did, because Chris was super rad, and he knew how to kill a bike. Let me move the camera back a little bit here, guys, so I can get a better shot at this. All right, here's the whole magazine is vertical for this test. That's really strange. Here, let me put this down, pick up the camera. We can get a better shot at Chris right here. That's a great shot. Look at the shoulder pads from JT against the dyno uniform. That's pretty. It's kind of a mixing of matching of things, but who cares? There's the bike itself, and there's the specs for the bike right there. Components, bikes. And I believe the price for this thing was relatively cheap. I think it was in the $200 range. Somewhere around $250, I believe, was the price for that Redline. You get a lot of bike, though, for $250. The cranks didn't hold up very well from what I read. And then we've got the CW ad here. All freestyle, man. There's not a race bike to be seen in this ad. It kind of gives you an idea of where things were headed at the time, and freestyle is still out there. It's still there, but now racing is really, really big. I mean, it's amazing. I'm just disappointed in the salaries that these guys are earning for the racers. Somebody had posted on Facebook. I just saw this today, and it was showing Greg Hill's winning at a some sort of, I forgot what race it was, but it showed his winnings, which was around $7,500, and then underneath it, it showed like a very recent race, and the Elite Pro was holding up that big check, and it was like $1,600. And I go, wow, man, we need to get some bigger sponsors in the sport. We need to get more people involved, and these guys should be making a lot more money, especially the risks that they take on today's tracks. It's just insane. When I watch what they do, I'm just shocked at the money that they make. Okay, let's take a look here. We got the GPV Grand. So this is the gravity-powered vehicle bike. So I'm going to mention something about this is I never had a GPV bike, but I remember being a kid, and we would try to find the biggest hills we could find just so we can coast down those things. And man, I loved doing that. I remember going so fast that my handlebars would be going like this, just shaking. And there was a quick story. I was camping with my mom and dad, and we were in the camper. And I remember I was riding in the back of the camper, and I had brought my bike with me. And I was getting so nauseous, man. I was just getting car sick. We were going down this windy road, man. And my dad looked at me, he goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I'm feeling car sick, And he goes, "Okay, hold on a minute." He pulled over. He took my bike out of the camper. He goes, "Go ahead and coast down the hill. We'll catch up to you at the bottom." And I was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead." And man, I took off. I was flying down that mountain. I lost my parents completely. I was just gone. And he could only go so fast. He was driving like a big Chevy truck with a full camper on the back, so he could only go so fast. And I was flying down the hill. And I remember specifically, I was coming down this one turn, and there was an RX-7 coming behind me, and I saw him coming, so I had to move over to the side so he can pass me. And when he passed me, he stuck his hand out his sunroof and gave me the thumbs up because I was hauling ass all the way down that mountain. I got in so much trouble, though. Let me get a drink of water, guys. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, my dad was furious. He was yelling at me. My dad was an avid motorcycle rider, and he was telling me you have no idea of the speed, and you have no idea how to control those speeds. And he was getting, he got really upset with me. But I'll tell you what, guys, it was worth it. I was flying down that mountain like you wouldn't believe. So anyway, who's in this picture? We got Rich Seeger here. Check it out. He's got dumbbells on the bottom of the bike to weigh it down. That's crazy, huh? That is so insane, but it must have worked. You know, these were makeshift bikes, you know. They were just turning them upside down and just hauling ass down the hill. And this is the path that they took. I'll go ahead and show you a close-up of that. As you can see right there, that's the map of the ride going all the way down. Here's the start right here, and you can see the finish is way down there. It's kind of bad lighting, guys, but that's pretty crazy. If you look at the road itself, look at this, man. That's pretty nuts. I got to tell you, though, this must have been the most fun, you know, and I'm wondering if people are actually out there still doing this. I really wonder if that's still a thing. We got Danny Milwee here. Check it out. He's got the cycling handlebars on what looks like his Haro. Looks like a Haro RS1 or RS2. He's going down, and the bike is in the correct position. It's not flipped upside down. I don't believe it is anyway. Front and back brakes, and he's just going. And then we got Seppi Mays here. It's funny because I was looking at this photo before I actually started doing the magazine review. And, you know, he's got the super tight tapered jeans, and, you know, he could literally walk around today in that outfit with the Vans and the, well, I guess the kids are calling them, what are they calling them now? I forgot what they're calling those skinny jeans. Yeah, and he could fit right in right now. It's so funny. Let's take a look at the next page here. This is another great shot. Now, I did see some of these races in a Bicycles and Dirt magazine I had did, oh man, probably a year ago, and they were covering the same sort of format. And here's another great shot here. That is pretty awesome. Dave Vanderspeck. Oh, rest in peace. That was Dave right there. A lot of guys got involved. Tommy Brackens was a beast at this. And then, so the results of this race, if I look really quick, Tommy Brackens won it. Dave Vanderspeck took second, and Matt McClung took third. I think Matt had some legal trouble from what I looked up. Todd Huffman took fourth. Scott Thompson with the fifth. And then we had Steve Beckley with sixth. And then somebody got DQ'd. Rich Seeger got DQ'd for one reason or another. But there was a lot of riders. If you look, this was just the main event. They had 7 guys going into the main. But if you look at all the riders that were in all these motos, I mean, there's Scott Breithaupt was in there, man. It's just crazy. There's all kinds of random guys and superstars all mixed up inside this race, and that's really, really cool. Man, they must have had a great time doing this. I believe this was televised, too. So when I go over my next BMX video review, I'm going to see if I can find some of these GPV things and grab a couple clips from that. That'll be really cool. We got another ad here, and then we got the scooter ad with the Haro pants, pink Converse. Hey, that gray and pink, I'm not going to lie, that looks pretty cool. Oh, here we go. All right, my favorite part. So here's the Fall Nationals, Lake Elsinore, California, and we got Eric Big Daddy Roop on his Mongoose Cruiser here. I love these Haro flow panels. Still one of my favorite number plates. This is a really cool shot of Eric. Love it. It says, here's Eric Roop leading the Pro Cruiser main, milliseconds before getting passed on the outside by Arizona up-and-cover Kevin Aldelot. He got first, Roop second, and Tooney took third. That's really cool. What do we got here? We got a Titan rider. Factory female Titan rider Tiffany Kellner kicking booty over in the 13 girls class. Wow, that's a great shot. I remember Titan. I think they were one of the first bikes that were titanium, if I'm right. Here we got Glenn Pelvosky here running for Elf. And then we had Mikey Luna on Hutch over here on the corner. This is really, really cool. I love looking at races. I wish I had more time to read this. Sorry, guys. This is a great shot of Harry Larry. Let's see. Harry got first place as... Harry's first race as a father had an interesting effect on him. He was fully flying in the Porsche Design Series. There's a Mini 3 race series the ABA put together, the Las Vegas Gold Cup, was the first series. Saturday was at Elsinore, counted as second, and Sunday wrapped it up. So Sunday night's main consisted of the overall top 4 A pros and top 4 double A pros from the 3 races, which was which with his new son watching from the sidelines, Harry won $1,350 from Porsche Designs watch wire to wire. That's pretty cool. So I guess this was a 3-race series according to what I was just reading here. And this is a really cool shot. So if you figure this is 1987, man, his son is just a grown man now. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go to the next page here. Now we got Harry Larry here again. What does it say here? This was definitely not Tommy's best weekend. Not only did he get smoked by virtually everybody, but Toby Henderson used him as a jump and did this cool looking 1-footer. Oh wow, that's crazy. We won't say one word to the ABA about how they should have nationals on wider tracks. We'll just say this photo speaks for itself. That looks like Doug Davis right there. And then we got Harry Larry warming up on the rollers in between his motos. And this is Glenn wearing the BC colors and Dana Griffin trying his hardest to not loop out on the inside. Rest in peace, Dana. So that's a great, great shot right there too. These are really good shots, man. I would have loved if they were in color, but those are really cool. And here's the track. Okay, I was taking a look at this earlier too. I thought this track was really, really cool. It's pretty technical for its time. You got your first straight here, and you're going straight down underneath what looks like this. The light is right here for the gate. So what made me, when I saw this bar here, it was really kind of made me think of high school. And I remember kids running into like the goalposts when we were playing in PE, or running into the basketball, the goalpost for the basketball hoops as well. And I thought to myself, man, if you veer off or get bumped and run into that, that's going to knock the crap out of you. We got a step jump going into the first turn, and then there's some, looks like a little bit of soft stuff here. It's a flat turn, and then it's going to corkscrew down into a small set of doubles, and then it goes downhill into a tunnel, which is really, really awesome. I've only ever raced one track that had a tunnel on it like that. It was in Stockton, California, and I only raced it one time. You got a set of doubles coming out of there, a small break. So I imagine you're going to hit these doubles, pick up speed, coast, and hit these doubles. There's going to be a tabletop going into the next turn, into a peaky set of doubles that looks like it's going to bonsai down, into another flat turn with a speed jump leading into 2 peaky speed jumps right here and here. So that's pretty technical looking track for its time, but again, the tracks are going to start getting a little bit more challenging as time goes on, and this is, like I said, this is only 87, so this is just kind of the beginning stages of where things are going. Who won AA Pro? Todd Blazer won it, Mike Miranda second, Harry Larry got third, Greg Hill got fourth, Eddie King fifth, Gary Ellis sixth, Pete Lonkarovich seventh, and then Turnell Henry picked up the eighth. And then we got Kevin Adelot. He won the cruiser class, pro cruiser class, with Eric Roop, Turnell Henry. Tinker Juarez was still in there. Jerry Jones, John Phillips, Joe Ledesma, and Willie Waller. Pro Open, Pete Lonkarovich won it. Greg Hill got second, and Gary Ellis picked up the third. Looks like Fred Johnson won A Pro. Dennis Balch grabbed the second, and Sean Hildreth took third. So really, really cool race. Eric Carter won 16 expert. Jim McKay won 17 expert. Chris Backus won 15 expert. Ricky Gilbert picked up the win in 14X. And then Troy Walden won 13X. I won't go through all of them. There's just too many, but that's really cool. I always like looking at the results and see who did what. We got Rockville BMX ad here. And then looks like, oh, this is really cool. Now, Diz Hicks, I always thought he was really stylish, man. I used to love watching him in the magazines. He just had his own style, and I really thought it was pretty rad. And he always did it on Skyway Top Wheels, which I thought was even a plus for me. But this is on his kick ramp. I think this is kind of his thing. The kick ramp was kind of where he shined from what I remember watching in videos. All right, let's keep on going here. We're getting close to the end already, guys. Not bad. 33 minutes in. We got the Nighthawk. Hot products. We got the Reach for the Peak. Look at the 09 visor. So this is kind of the beginning of the snapless visors, as you see right there. Now, these were pretty cool, but I think the first visor I got that wasn't a 3-snap visor, was from Troy Lee, but it was basically the same design, and I did rock that for a little while, and eventually I went back to the normal visor but Troy Lee was right on the money, because what these became basically what we know today. That's all we ride. All right, let's keep going. There's the hat that we looked at earlier. These are some funky looking grips here. What is this company here? Co-Union Industry Company? Never heard of it. But looks pretty cool. Nonetheless, to each their own. And then we got the Deer Gork here. And then finally we have the Robinson ad here. You know, it's really cool because you see Greg Hill here and Danny Nelson. And I know this is just an ad and it doesn't mean much, but I know they're just posing. But at the same time, I'm wondering if Greg Hill mentored Danny a little bit, because Danny ends up being a pro world champion of his own as he starts to age up. So that's really cool to think about that for a moment. All right, let's keep on going, guys. Got stickers. Have you joined the BMX largest buyers group? Wow, I don't know what the buyers group is. $449, your choice. Complete Bikes TE 1000 20-inch or Cruiser. Not too sure what that's all about. Here's another Diz ad right here. And then that's it. We got the outtakes here. Gary Ellis is crashing here. And then we got, looks like Greg Hill in the background. There's Mike Miranda and Eddie King right there. And then, of course, the Comp 3 ad. Can't have a BMX magazine without a Comp 3 ad. These are the best tires ever. I had a set of Ukiah rims that looked exactly like these. And that's it. The Tioga ad in the back for the, looks like for the chain wheel. And that, guys, is it. March 1987 is in the books. That was a good one. We did it pretty quick, 35 minutes. As always, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Again, keep up with the likes and the subscribing. The channel's getting bigger and bigger. We're almost to 400. I'm so stoked because my goal is to get to 1,000. I was telling my daughter I'm gonna get to 1,000. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm gonna get there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. We'll be doing a race video next week. See you guys.
I got it. At first it was hard. Nobody believed me. Ever since then, I'm making it clear. This my year. This my year. I hustle in the dark with a bright my head. Get the bright idea.